To us, Elliot looked like everything was normal. There was no problem. We only first found out about it is when we got a call from school to say that Elliot had told somebody in the school that he'd taken something, and he'd been taken to hospital, and that was the first that we were aware that Elliot had a problem of mental health.
Had Elliot tried to take his life after that when he was at school?
The next incident, some months later, was when Elliot had gone to a friend's party, a birthday party, and he told us later that somebody had put a coin in his drink, and he almost choked on it, and that upset him. Friends were laughing at him, and he stormed out of the party, and he told us that he tried to hang himself. We'd been concerned since the first incident, and we'd been to see the GP with Elliot. The GP had referred him to a psychiatric centre in Wisbech, and he'd had several visits to see the psychiatrist with us. The third attempt came out of the blue, really. Elliot said that previously he'd tried to drown himself, but under closer discussion and talking with Elliot, it seemed that these were cries for help more than anything else. He had a difficult time for a period of about a year. He was a vulnerable lad, clearly. He had a number of issues. He worked hard to resolve those issues, and following that period of over 1 year, he matured. He went to university. He had no further problems, and he looked forward to getting on with the next stage of his life.
It's also been reported that Elliot became depressed after coming out as gay in 2010, and that his family had initially struggled to come to terms with his sexuality. When did he tell you that he was gay? He
didn't actually tell us that he was actually gay until two and a half years ago.
And how did you react to that?
Well, by then we got used to the idea. We knew that Elliot was probably tending towards being gay, so it wasn't a real surprise to us, to be honest, at that stage. He also was fairly open about it with his friends in London, so there was no reason for him to take his life because of the fact that he was gay. His friends were. It was open to them about it. Everybody knew about it, I suppose, really. So there should be no reason, no bearing on that.
We've obviously talked a lot in the last few months. You've never actually mentioned that he had mental health problems, or had mental problems, or that he tried to take his own life before. Why didn't you bring that up?
We didn't think at that stage it was the right thing to say. You know, we were trying to. We knew that at some stage it would come out, because it would become part of the medical evidence that would be at the coroner's inquest. 5 months ago, we were struggling with the loss of our son, and we were worried, I suppose, that if we'd have raised the point that Elliot had mental health issues a number of years previously, that would have made it more difficult for us to get justice for Elliot. I think people would have just thought this was just another vulnerable young boy with mental health issues who had decided to commit suicide, and would not have looked any further back to the fact of what drove our son to his suicide.
Once again, you don't think that is relevant to why Elliot ended up taking his own life?
No, it's not relevant. Elliot took his life because he was being bullied and picked on generally by certain persons, and let down by other organisations around the Conservative Party. He was treated badly. That's why Elliot took his life. He was treated appallingly by people and organisations, and we want to make sure that Elliot receives justice for what happened to him.